Have you ever stared at the ceiling late at night and wondered, why does none of this feel like it matters? That feeling of emptiness, of floating, of being surrounded by noise, yet feeling profoundly alone. It creeps in during the quiet hours, when distractions fade and the truth knocks. This isn't sadness, it's not even depression, it's meaninglessness, and it's terrifying. The Stoics never promised constant happiness. They didn't chase fulfillment through luxury, validation, or comfort. Instead, they faced emptiness head-on. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, not out of fear, but out of clarity." When you feel empty, the first mistake is to run from it, to cover it with noise, with endless scrolling, with shallow victories. But the Stoics would urge you to stop, to sit with it, to interrogate the void. What is it telling you? What part of your life have you abandoned? Your values, your purpose, your discipline? Meaninglessness isn't your enemy. It's your invitation, an invitation to rebuild from the inside out. Ready for the next piece? Let's keep going. Most people fear the void because it exposes how fragile their foundations are. When the applause fades, when the goals are met or missed, what remains? That silence isn't empty. It's asking a question. Who are you when nothing is happening? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the meaning we crave doesn't come from external events. It comes from aligning our actions with nature, with virtue, with reason. Meaning is not given. It's built, day by day, decision by decision. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it, but most waste years chasing artificial goals, popularity, wealth, attention. None of these things are stable. None of them satisfy the deeper hunger." So what does a Stoic do when they feel empty? They don't look outward. They look inward. They simplify. They ask, am I being courageous? Am I acting with justice? Am I showing wisdom? Am I mastering myself? These aren't abstract ideals. They are the raw materials of a meaningful life. They don't glitter, but they endure. In the next part, we'll uncover the Stoic method to rebuild your inner world when it feels like nothing is left. The Stoics believed that meaninglessness is not a curse, it's a signal, a sign that you've drifted too far from your values, that you're living by someone else's standards instead of your own. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This isn't about grand plans. It's about choosing the next right action, not the most impressive, but the most aligned with your principles. That's where meaning begins again, in the tiny daily commitments to live with integrity, to treat others with dignity, to hold yourself accountable. These are the invisible bricks that rebuild a broken inner world. You don't need a perfect life to feel whole. You need consistency in your character. The Stoic finds peace in progress, not perfection. One clear decision, one honest conversation, one moment of restraint. All of it counts. And if you've made it this far, there's one thing you can do that will help us bring more of this content to people like you. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the Stoic tools that can actually change your day. The modern world screams at us to chase purpose in achievements, job titles, followers, accolades. But the Stoic flips this completely. Purpose isn't found out there. It's cultivated in here, in the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, didn't define his value by power or praise. He returned again and again to this inner posture. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. You might feel empty because you've been trying to live a life that isn't yours, because you've built your self-worth around things that can vanish overnight. What Stoicism offers isn't a shortcut, it's an anchor. Start subtracting what drains your energy, the unnecessary obligations, the fake connections, the noise. This subtraction creates space, not for chaos, but for clarity. The Stoic doesn't just tolerate stillness, he uses it. In silence, we confront what matters. In quiet, we can finally hear the voice beneath all others, our own. Once you begin clearing out the noise, something strange happens. You start to feel again, but not in the chaotic, unhinged way modern society promotes. You begin to feel the weight of your actions, the quiet pride in consistency, the subtle shift in who you are becoming. Feeling empty isn't a curse, it's a call to rebuild, to reconstruct yourself from the inside out with principles, not performance, with clarity, not comparison. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." If your soul feels hollow, maybe it's been starving, not for more, but for less. Less distraction, less validation, less noise. In its place, cultivate stillness. Make room for your inner world to take shape, slowly and intentionally. Let your actions stem from that silence, not from external pressure. Now, before we wrap, if this kind of grounded strength speaks to you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is your space for reclaiming inner power, and we've only just begun. The Stoics didn't see emptiness as something to run from. They embraced it as fertile ground for rebirth. Marcus Aurelius didn't fill his life with distractions. He walked with silence. He sat with solitude. And in doing so, he discovered an unshakable center. So if you're feeling lost, unanchored, or meaningless, good. That means you're awake. You're at the starting line of real growth. Let that emptiness teach you what matters. Let it burn away your false pursuits. You don't need to chase meaning. You need to build it with action, with virtue, with discipline. You need to show up again and again, not because life feels good, but because you've decided to become good. Here's the real question. What if this emptiness isn't the end, but your clearest invitation to begin? Sit with that. And now, we move forward.